EXE, or otherwise known as Faker, is a character owned by Raven. This is a lot of people's favorite EXE, so I'm going to try my best as to not butcher this, and I'll mostly be talking about the canon to EXE, what exists right now, but keep in mind that things could change in the near future, and stuff could be retconned, but I'm going to tell you what I know now. EXE is a botched attempt at creating a vessel by the interdimensional entity known as EXE. Though this appearance may be resembling Sonic, you can easily tell that this thing is evil, hell-bent on vengeance against those who have wronged him. He lives for the suffering of all life, seeing others tear themselves apart. If he were to enter our reality, all is gone. For not just the Earth, but every world and universe beyond it would be doomed. Once again, quoting the wiki for that, because that is absolutely terrifying. If EXE touches this plane of existence, every one of us are wiped out. And you could say that for a lot of different, like, Sonic EXEs or any horror brew creature. But, I mean, if you guys see this thing's beast form, oh my god. So, for clarification, EXE was created by the original X before making his appearance in 2011. EXE doesn't exactly agree with 2011X and how things are being handled, so he wishes to overthrow him, hence why X throws him away. EXE has a vision for not only humanity, but all forms of life, but in retaliation, he fails and is casted away. Where exactly does he end up? Why, he ends up in another universe and another Earth. Unfortunate for that Earth. Now let's get into EXE's equivalent to the Guardians, the Harbingers. After being casted out by X, EXE creates 4 entities and names them the Harbingers. They exist purely in the real world, attaining souls for their master. The Harbingers themselves have names, those being Sour the Rabbit, Max the Doll, Tillin, and HR 2003. I'll give a brief description of each of them and what they're about. So first we have Sour the Rabbit. Sour represents EXE's body and is the largest of the Harbingers, standing at a whopping 12 feet tall and is covered in holes. It has 3 mouths on its face and 1 on its torso. It mostly gets people who live on multi-story housing and hides in trees. It behaves like a standard cryptid. It was also loosely based on the Jersey Devil. It's worth noting that each one of the Harbingers represents something about EXE and is basically, I wouldn't say pieces of himself, but it kind of is like pieces of himself, scattered into multiple different creatures. That being said, let's get into Max, or the doll. I can't help but to feel like this was Tails doll inspired, because it says in the wiki, it says that was a Tails plushie EXE imbued with some of his matter, which was sent to Earth to harvest souls for his needs. Max represents EXE's emotions and is particularly vengeful and takes delight in tormenting those around it. It was gifted to a child named Alex from its previous owner, Lucas. After doing this, Lucas goes missing shortly after. Interestingly enough, becomes the vessel for Tails in EXE's world. And since then, poor Alex has been through the ringer as Max is tormenting this poor thing. It is tragic, however, because Alex's dog almost chewed up Max the doll, but was unfortunately taken out of this earth because of that, unbeknownst to Alex. Next, we have Tillin. Not much is known, but I believe this is to represent the intellect of EXE and has a humanoid form and has never been seen without Tillin's signature cloak. Also, Tillin is responsible for having the game spread around Earth. HR 2003 is the only Harbinger not set in the real world, rather set in a separate dimensional plane or realm as EXE or other EXEs. HR 2003 represents a poison to EXEs and is capable of capturing souls through its monitor screen. I'm not sure if HR 2003 represents anything about EXE specifically, maybe his want to spread his influence, as that's kind of what this thing does, But aside from that, not much else is known. First of all, EXE is takes inspiration from 2017 EXE in both looks and story. EXE is incapable of human or English speech and can only speak in very specific circumstances. EXE's name was never supposed to be Faker or referred to as such, but since the popularity of Sonic EXE V2, it was like very popularized, hence why I've been referring to them as Faker, because this is kind of like what I knew them as, but their technical name is EXE, so I'll try my best to refer to them as such. EXE is almost impossible to kill, however, can be eradicated by a specific ritual, or only Lord X, or perhaps another variant of the original Sonic.exe, as they're the only ones with knowledge of how to do so. EXE himself only has like 2 forms, which is the one that we see normally, and his beast form, which, might I say, I actually really like both of these designs, as it has an uncanny resemblance to Sonic, while also remaining somewhat unsettling, and my god. Okay, first of all, the art for this is absolutely beautiful, and the beast form for EXE is so cool. And the fact that it's featured in Pillar Chase 2 as an EXE, as like a creature that you can play as, is so awesome. I love the inclusion of EXE. I feel like this is definitely one of my favorites, both in design and story so far. Now, there is one thing I wanted to mention, and that was the premise of the Black Sun. I'm not exactly sure how the Black Sun works, but basically it says that every soul that is captured by EXE, or that an extension of that, the Harbingers, is sent to the Black Sun, which is this sort of like torment chamber. That, or they are sent to the Black Sun, and then afterwards, they are made into Sonic characters, and their vessels are placed inside of them. Now, I could be wrong on that, and I do apologize. I tried to look around for like this sort of information. If you guys know, if you have a definitive answer, let me know down in the comments below. One funny thing about EXE is that apparently he doesn't know how to play any instruments, or is really like that enlightened in human culture, but can play chess pretty well. Whether this is canon or not, or was in the past, I'm just going to say I like this idea. I think it's pretty funny. And seeing Lord X and EXE playing chess, I think, is an interesting premise. And that, my friends, is the Harbingers, EXE, and just a few fun facts about him and what I liked about him. His appearance in Sonic.exe, controversy or not, is still appreciated and introduced me and a lot of other people to the character. I wanted to do a quick mention of the lyrical version of Faker/Black Sun, as made by Sturm. Sturm does an amazing job at matching the lyrics with the actual song itself, and I just wanted to quickly mention it, as I personally feel like this is a bop and was really well put together. That being said, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, as I'm pushing for 10K, though I could be at 10K after I post this video, but thank you guys so much for your support. Wait, what is that? Mario, see you next time.